Let's talk about electrostatic discharge real quick. And I guess I'm going to do it on the whiteboard because why not? So first, let's think of a crazy case. So if we have a cloud and it's moving along relative to the ground, it's going to pick up some charge, and also the water that's getting this charge. And I can't remember if it's plus or minus, but it doesn't really matter. It just got some sort of charge. And the ground also has some charge built up. And this air in between kind of has a bit of a resistance, meaning that you can't have a flow of charge easily through here. But eventually, we'll have so much charge that we can have a flow where we can actually break down the air and have a current flow through it. This is, well, we know that this is lightning. When that happens, it's lightning. And so it just happens when we have large amounts of potential differential, and then we're allowed to flow and kind of equalize that difference. So the same thing can happen on a very teeny tiny scale when we look at a transistor. So we've got our NMOS transistor and an input. So remember that this right here is a capacitor, and we can build up some charges here, so maybe it's minuses and pluses, whatever. And the voltage that it takes to charge one of these is very small for it to get to our kind of safe capacity. But if we start adding a bunch in here, a bunch of charges, that's going to attract a bunch more here, a bunch of pluses, and eventually what can happen is you get a little teeny lightning bolt. And when you get that lightning bolt, it actually is going to damage this device, and it is not going to work anymore. And so those voltages, they can be pretty small voltages that cause this kind of problem. It might be, well, it's really going to vary from device to device, but like something like my acrylic hat can build up a lot of static. And when I go and touch a circuit board, if I touch it in the wrong spots, that can actually cause damage, right? Because if I touch the metal, that charge might try and distribute across the circuit, and it can potentially break some of the transistors inside of it. So that's why when we pick up a circuit board, the circuit board has no components on it, but when we pick it up, we should always pick it up on the side. If you pick it up like this, you're going to be touching these pads on the bottom, and you're going to be touching conductors and all that stuff, and you're at a much higher risk to have a static discharge. So you always want to pick up a board on the side, and that's because of electrostatic discharge.